Randall Hughes with GodGlorified.com, and we're talking about the necessity of baptism and what Paul had to say about baptism. In Romans chapter 6, Paul said, "What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us as were baptized into Jesus Christ were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should rise to walk in newness of life. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin." And so baptism is the means. We're buried with him. We're planted with him, verse 5 seems to indicate. And if you haven't been planted with him, then you're not going to rise with him. And so that's one of the importance. Another is Jesus is our Passover Lamb. And in Exodus 12, verse 13, the statement is made to Moses, "When I see the blood, I will pass over you." The judgment that was coming up on Egypt was not felt by the children of Israel if they had the blood on the doorpost. Today, the lamb is dead for your Passover, but has the blood been applied? You see, we are washed in his blood in baptism. Paul, quoting Ananias, who baptized him, as saying in chapter 22, verse 16 of Acts, he said, "And now why tarriest thou? Arise and be baptized, and wash away thy sins, calling on the name of the Lord." And then the final verse I would want to share with you is from Revelation chapter 1, verse 5, and it speaks of Jesus Christ, who has washed us from our sins in his own blood. Baptism is the way you get the blood applied. John the Baptist, the first preacher of the kingdom, said that baptism was for the forgiveness of sins. Baptism completes the forgiveness process, and it is necessary for you today. That is why Peter commanded in Acts 2, every one of you, and at Cornelius' household in Acts 10:48, commanded them to be baptized. That's why people were baptized at midnight, and why Paul would rebaptize people at Ephesus. And so baptism was a necessary thing. It is not a work of righteousness, according to Paul in Titus 3 and 5.